Oh, it's the 19th of June 2018, 12:15 p.m. I started school in a one room school with a dozen other kids, I suppose, ranging from kindergarten all the way up to year six. Small, very tiny hamlet, rural community. I no preschool. We didn't have preschool in those days. No, straight into school. And I can't remember anybody even talking to me. Uh, we weren't actually, just didn't, nobody spoke. A very close-minded sort of community. So I sat there for a whole year. I think I spent a year there and just carved with my pencil, backwards and forwards, backwards across the desk, and dug a groove in it. Because there was nothing else happening. There was nothing else to do. I just had to sit there. So it was the first time I ever had to sit anywhere in my life. Didn't like the experience at all. So, but what I'm sort of, I've researched it a little bit recently to see what typically happens. And it seems that the teaching is, you get the kids to, in preschool to run around and say hi to one another and tell them one another their name and do they want to talk to them. And I imagine that, and I thought, yeah, that'd be great. Yep. So that's right. Done. Job's done. Okay. It's like, well, what else do you need to do? Yeah. But I'd say the reality is, they run up to one another and they say, hi, my name's such and such. Do you want to talk to me? Yeah. That's it. And they run away because, it gets awkward after 5 seconds. They don't know what to say. They don't know what to talk about. So they go off and do the same thing to everybody else. And then eventually they start copying what everybody else is doing, and everybody ends up just being a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy. And most of it ends up, down here because there's lots of criticism and what have you, and improvement. You've got a teacher that's, highly critical, so that just whole permeates. And you end up on a chat site trying to figure out how to be happy with conversation. But the way I see, when you eventually get into having a conversation, one-on-one with a person, and typically man and woman, it's really like you got the salesman selling the plane. You want to take the plane for a spin, and the chick goes, not me. I'm not going to fly it. That's stupid. You can. So you take the key. Give me that fucking thing here and just get in and off you go. And it's hair raising. All right. Now, a few things happen. If you decide to have a go at it and get in the air, and not just go round and round in circles and repeat the same thing over and over. If you actually try to have conversations and develop the plot, a few things happen. Or two things mainly. You fall into this, I call this a trap here. It's like a crevice. Like you slip through the cracks. The first thing is that you've initiated conversation, she can't. Right? So, in a sense, she ends up being white space. She makes a white space thing. And those TV interviewer technique where they've got someone who's they're trying to catch him out, or some politician or something. If they don't say much, ask a question and sit there and in silence. So then they feel they have to fill the silence. That's the technique that women are using with us. It's subtle. You won't see it. You won't realise it at first until you actually see it. But you have to talk, and then you say something, and they go, okay, yeah, or sure, or one word, or LOL in type, they can't respond. They don't know what to come back with. They can't create anything, all right? And they can't, there are all sorts of reasons for this that I'll discuss in other videos. But, they can't create, right? So, couple of things happen there. Firstly, you start over talking. And you go, chap, 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 and that actually annoys yourself, the talker, because you think, I'm just talking too much here, it's just uncomfortable. She's doing nothing. She's not supporting anything at all. And it's just, you're just feeding into this white space. The next thing that happens is, you get very frustrated with these, in varying degrees. And so you start trying to tell them, you say this, we talk about this, you try to teach them how to have it's basically like you're both trying to fly the plane now, all right? That's no longer I'm there, that's how it used to be, all right? He'd do the talking, that was the accepted thing, women thought, no, fair enough, he initiates everything, he initiates this, that, and that, yeah, I better shut up and sit here and behave myself. Not anymore, no, you initiate everything and I'll complain about it, all this down here, okay? So you've got that happen. So now what's happening is, when you try to do this, do that, and this just recently happened to me with somebody, right? You're controlling them. And and then it's the thing that's pointed at you. Yeah, you're a controlling person, and you are. You're trying to actually get them to talk, to initiate conversation, and they can't. They won't. They refuse. Won't do it. You end up, and they're quite right. You're being controlling, because that's what you're inputting. Yeah, and so once you realise that, and you think, oh my Godfather, and that's what it's like. It's really like you get in the plane, you take off, and you take all this risk, and you do all of this, and then she contributes nothing. And I don't mean this in any sort of criticism or put down or anything else like that to women, but that's just what seems to happen in a lot of cases. And then it's turned around on you, you are controlling. So this is where I'm up to at the moment. I thought, it's really, believe it or not, it's only just sunk into me that that's what's happening. There's a lot more happening here, and I'll explain in other videos, but there's a lot to it. But I see that as the talking trap. And I've just fall into another one. I fell into it with my wife, with other people. I fall into it, but I can see it now, and I know what's happening. I also know how I initiate conversation. So, I've solved all of those problems. So I don't feel the need to fill white space anymore. Okay, so which is good. It's freed me. Finally, I'm free of it. Because I understand what's going on. I'm finally free. And I can just fly around by myself if I have to, and just enjoy it. But I don't need a passenger. I won't be taking passengers anymore. I can't be bothered, unless they're prepared to, fly with me, But as I said, I'll be doing more videos on it. It's just a whole area. It's just like the whole thing has been lifted, but I think it's just such a major. I really do think it's at the base of our problems here, and the idea that we initiate, they don't, and they're actually scamming us. Sorry, I see it as a huge scam. We're getting conned, just like the TV interviewer. He's scamming, or she's scamming the guy. She's tricking him. Yeah, it's that sort of scam. Anyway, it's been good talking to you, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.